DePaul University has banned chalk drawings on campus. They could be offensive. That relates to millennials. And so does this. Next item of news. AMC theatres say they may start letting people text in movies. Again, this is a sop, surely, to millennials. Come on in, Robi Ludwig, psychotherapist. What's wrong with millennials? I mean, I'm not being totally pejorative here, but, you know, you've got to keep them in a safe place on campus, and they're going to be allowed to text in a movie to disrupt my movie-going pleasure. What's wrong with these people?
Well, I think millennials are very politically correct. The problem is that it creates a groupthink mentality where it's not really safe to have a different point of view, and that becomes where the danger really is. I mean, we really have a more enriched conversation when different people can chime in, even if those thoughts aren't popular. So be it. We need to have those thoughts.
Yeah,
but that's not happening in this kind of college bubble.
You're saying that millennials are really collectivists. They've got to be plugged in with their texting devices, and they've got to be safe from other people's opinions, again, in a nice little collective form, safe from those nasty people over there. They're socialists. That's what you said.
Well, they're very in touch with hurting people's feelings. That's good. But the downside is the reality is any type of opinion can hurt someone's feelings. You can't protect any person or groups from being hurt.
Grow up.
Well,
start living real life where other people have a different opinion from yours.
Well,
Get used to it.
It's interesting. I was doing a radio show with a very impressive millennial, and she said, listen, we grew up with technology, and we are constantly researching and finding out information. So they have access to information that perhaps you or I did not have in quite the same way. So their perspective is influenced in that way. But they're in terms of the movie theater, I think they're over-reliant on technology. We all are, and we get anxious when we don't have access to our phone.
So, if you had a millennial patient who comes to you...
Yes, I have many.
I'm sure you do.
Yes.
They come to you in need of therapy.
Right. They want to get in and get out. That's the interesting thing. Like, why aren't we done yet?
Are you allowed to say, grow up, get in the real world, grow up, you're juvenile?
Well, I don't know if I'd say you're juvenile, but if you have the right relationship with the patient, you can almost say anything if it's coming from the right place, but you have to know who you're working with. You always want to do it in a way that's helpful. You don't do it in a way that's harmful, because what's the point of going to therapy if your therapist is going to harm you?
Is it harmful to say grow up?
Not necessarily, but it depends on the relationship. It depends on the patient and how willing they are to hear that. Sometimes it can be the exact right message to hear.
Would I be right in saying that adulthood in modern America doesn't begin until you're 35?
You know, I think it's taking us all a lot longer to grow up, and I talk about that in my book, Your Best Age Is Now, and that's why we are really all feeling younger longer, which is a positive, because that means we're feeling more hopeful about our future, and it just has multiple
But isn't it arrested development a little bit? You've got to get out in the world.
It would, but think about modern science. We're all living a lot longer, so there are people who are living to 120 now, and that's without the benefit of modern science.
Adolescence has to be extended because we're living longer? You must have at least a third of your life as an adolescent?
Well,
really?
think about it. In the 70s, 35 was midlife crisis. Now we consider 35 young.
You're killing me.
Well,
you know that. You're killing me.
You wouldn't be the first man who said that to me.
All right. We end it right there. Robi Ludwig, enough. Thank you very much indeed. Seriously, that was good. That was good.